It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Hi everybody, and welcome into this week's episode. In our continuing quest to bring you the very latest in fishing news and reports from the Southwest region, 2 weeks ago we were up at Possum Kingdom Lake in northwest Texas. Last week we were all the way down in southeast Texas at Lake Conroe. And this week we're right in the middle. I'd like to welcome you in to beautiful Lake Whitney, located a little west of Hillsboro, Texas, a little west of I-35. Now, Lake Whitney has weathered the heat wave and the drought of 2011 in really good fashion. Although the lake is 14 feet low, the striper fishing and white bass fishing has been really good all summer long. So I hope to show you some of that action. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing reports from Texas Freshwater with Brian Hughes, along the Texas Gulf Coast with Bill Olson, in Oklahoma with Gary Dollahan, and in Louisiana with Cajun Phil and Kevin. Also this week on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week, I'll be showing you one of my favorite East Texas lakes. We'll have the Academy Right Stuff, and we'll have your expert answers to your fishing questions on the Ask the Pros. So while we get the Nitro Z8 into Lake Whitney, we take you back to the FSN studios. Here's your Chevy Weekend Planner.
A check of the fishing tables indicates that the prime daytime activity will begin a little bit after 9 o'clock in the morning. And this weekend could be a good opportunity for night fishing, with a full moon coming on Monday and peak evening fishing hours beginning at 9:40 p.m. on Saturday and 10:20 on Sunday. Expect sunrise to take place at 7:07 and the sun to set at 7:40. Also, there's a Hooked on Chevy Kid Fish event taking place in Gonzales, Texas on Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon. It's fun for the whole family and there are some great prizes for the kids. Plus, they may qualify for the Chevy Kid Fish Classic and catch some nice fish like Caden from College Station. Visit southwestoutdoorsreport.com and log in as a fan club member, then click on the Hooked on Chevy link to view all of the upcoming events. We'll be right back with all the latest fishing information from around our region. Stay with us.
Hey, this week is launch week, beginning this Saturday, right after the show from 8:30 to 9 a.m. One of our reporters will be live online to answer your questions and talk fishing. Go to our website, log in as a fan club member, or join if you haven't already. It is free. And click on the link to go directly to our chat page. I'll be online myself for the first session this week, Saturday, and you can see the schedule for all of our reporters for the following weeks on that same live chat page.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors. Buy quality award-winning Tracker boats. Fish the finest. Lawrence, maker of the HDS, high-definition system. And Academy, right stuff, low price, every day.
Welcome back, everybody. You're on your Southwest Outdoors Report. It's been an incredible morning so far at Lake Whitney. We've got fish all around us. This is one of the most incredible schools of stripers that I have seen in a while. There's another one. Every cast, I'm getting a nice striper. And these fish, most of them are ranging from about 18 inches long up to about 4 or 5 pounds, something like that. There have been some bigger fish caught lately. He's right up on top. Up to 15 pounds this summer. That's not what's going on today. These are just mostly good, solid, striped bass. A lot of fun to catch, and you won't find anything any more fun than just catching these brutes every cast. As I mentioned, Lake Whitney is 14 feet low. Only one boat ramp pretty much left in the water, but the fishing has just been phenomenal. Let me tell you one other thing that's happening right now. I kind of feel sorry for these fish in that they've got a thin layer of water to get in. The thermocline is at about 21 feet right now. Anything below 21 feet has no oxygen in it. But the other thing is there's not a lot of oxygen at the surface either. And so the fish have really got a narrow layer of water that they can actually survive in. But the good thing for them is all the bait is in that same level. So anywhere from about 10 feet down to 20 feet seems to be the key zone where there's a lot of oxygen, a lot of bait, and a lot of striped bass. There's another one. That's just amazing. Let's get your fishing reports cranked off very first thing. Let's check in with Cajun Phil and Kevin in Louisiana.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana Fishing Report. I tell you what, let's talk about bass fishing real quick. Talked to some friends up at Toledo Bend. They said, hey, the lake's shrinking up, it's getting smaller and smaller, but you know what? It's a little dangerous out there because the stumps are popping up. It's hard to find a place to launch your boat, but I tell you what, when you do, you're gonna catch some bass. You're catching lots of bass right now, and especially school bass in the middle of the day using rattle traps. Other than that, you better find the grass beds. Also good night fishing on Toledo Bend. As far as saltwater goes, it's blowing my mind right now. It's what happened in saltwater season. That's why I'm back here at Lafitte with Donovan. Captain Donovan, how you doing, buddy?
Fine, sir.
You've been going out just about each and every day, and you said that the monster big bull reds, they're easy to catch.
Monster bull reds, we have been putting it on them seriously, day by day, every single day. Crack crabs, just...
And you said the same thing, that this heat, there was actually going in some little deeper troughs and stuff right now. You know where those troughs are, so.
Right, that's right. We fished today and it was 31 feet of water we caught our fish.
Come here. Oh yeah, much better. And he's not deep hooked, which is a good thing. Well, there we go. I tell you, it is one fun day on Lake Whitney. I don't get to do this very often where you just catch a fish on almost every cast, but that's the way it's been today. You got to have good electronics to see where those bait fish are and where the schools are. Have some good equipment. We're going to show you that equipment in a little while, but we're going to take a quick break. That striper's going back. We'll be back. When we do, Brian Hughes will have your Texas Fishing and Lake Reports. Got a lot more coming from Lake Whitney.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life. By Navionics. Enjoy Navionics anytime, anywhere. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors.
That got slammed right there. Hey, welcome back everybody. This is your Southwest Outdoors Report on Lake Whitney today. And I want to show you this technique right now. This is a really cool technique that's been catching a lot of fish for many years, and I just don't use it very often. But this is the perfect setup for it today here on Lake Whitney. It's trolling, but it's trolling a Hel-Pet rig. I'm not using a downrigger. All I'm doing is using a heavy action bass or striper rod. And that striper actually hit my crankbait, believe it or not. All right, that's a good fish to start it off with right there on my trolling. Oh, I had two of them on. The big one just got off, and there's the smaller one right there. I actually had two fish on, one on the crankbait and one on my jig. That's just a nice striper to get it started. Throw that back. I'm gonna show you the entire rig a little later on, but there's the crankbait. About 4 feet down, there's the jig, and I'm actually using my trolling motor to troll along. So I'm putting my Motor Guide Tour Edition 109 digital trolling motor. You've got to have a good trolling motor to do this, by the way, but putting it on medium, and I'm just putting that crankbait down, put the rod tip down, feed that line out, push the button, let it go out. I like to troll it about 40 yards behind the boat at a medium speed. And a lot of times that crankbait will attract the fish's attention and he'll hit that bucktail jig that's trolling along about 4 feet behind.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters, who want me to remind you it's not too late to book a dove hunt for this season. Now we're going to start on Texas's borders, first the border with Oklahoma and Lake Texoma. The Tulsa District of the Army Corps of Engineers on Labor Day issued a water contact warning. It's important that you understand this. There is blue-green algae in the lake. It will not hurt the fish, but it is toxic to humans. They do not want anyone to ski or swim in Lake Texoma for the foreseeable future. Now, hopefully our weather change will adjust this phenomena and it will go away, but you'll need to watch their website to keep on top of this blue-green algae toxic issue. Now, on our Texas-Mexico border, Lake Amistad makes up for the issues on Texoma with some fantastic bass fishing. Also using top waters, buzz baits, chugars, head and spoon, anything you can throw on top, you can catch them on Amistad. Then go to your soft plastics on either Texas rigs, Carolina rigs, or drop shot rigs. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters. Let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. Surrounded by pristine bays, estuaries, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Port A is truly the fishing capital of Texas. Come fish, golf, and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, Tropical Storm Lee did little to help Texas drought or drop salinity levels. However, early arriving cold fronts have dropped both daytime highs as well as nighttime low temperatures, and that's a great prelude to fall. Anglers need to shift gears and watch forecast as north winds from approaching fronts will start to blow water and bait from surrounding marshes. Look for bird activity to increase on Sabine, Trinity, Galveston, and Matagorda bays. Now, when the wind switches back to the south or southeast after the fronts have passed, look for specks to be around more shallow shell reefs as well as along the deeper edge of grassy shorelines. Topwater lures, soft plastics, and live bait will catch fish. Redfish will also become more active and use the north winds and lower tides to help make their way toward the Gulf. When looking for schooling reds, particularly after a frontal passage, run the flats from the passes and jetties back into the bays. That's the best way to intercept fish, particularly on the middle coast. On the lower coast, Longbar, the Causeway, jetties, and South Bay continue to provide specks, reds, snook, and mangrove snapper. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Trolled it that far behind the boat and you've got a fight on your hands getting the fish in. Got 20-pound line on here, so I can come in pretty good with him. Here he is, right here beside the boat. Got 2 or 3 stripers with him. All right, nothing real big, but just another one on my Hel-Pet rig. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, we've got Gary Dollahan standing by from Oklahoma. He'll have your Oklahoma fishing news and reports. And I'll have your Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week with my special from East Texas. You can take some of the guesswork out of finding these stripers by booking a guide trip here on Whitney with one of 2 guides I know. Randy Ralph has Team Redneck Guide Service, and Mike Acosta has Unfair Advantage Guide Service. Both are professional guides with great equipment and can do you a good job of putting you on these fish. Their contact information is on your screen now.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day. Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. See what's out there. And by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Boy, there's one going through a big school of fish. Welcome back, everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report, doing a little trolling today. I don't usually do a lot of this, but it is one deadly technique for catching stripers, hybrid stripers, and white bass. We're on Lake Whitney, and there's been a lot of schooling activity going on around us, but they've kind of gone down right now. And so I started off up on my trolling motor, and now jump back here on the big motor. Okay, here comes the fish right here. Let's see what we got. Striper. Not too bad. Just a box fish. All right, there's a nice striper. He bit that jig, pony head bucktail jig that's running along behind that crankbait. It's a deadly technique. You can cover a lot of water with it. And if you don't have the fish pinpointed, it's a great way to look for fish. Just get out, drive up and down these ledges and flats. If you hit one, you ought to keep a marker buoy handy, throw it out so you mark right where the fish are. All right, let's go to Oklahoma right now, check in with Gary Dollahan, your fishing reports from there.
Well, the kids are back in Oklahoma schools, and that's where a lot of our bass are heading right now too. I really like this time of year because you can use a lot of signals out on the water to give you an idea as to where the bass are and what they're doing. As many of you are already familiar with following seagulls, the gulls are starting to come into the state now. You're seeing good numbers of them on our bodies of water, and almost every fisherman is familiar with knowing if they see birds hitting the water that there's something going on underneath. What I like to do, particularly late summer like right now, is still pay attention to those gulls, but not so much with them hitting the water as to where they are on the water. If I see a bunch of gulls sitting on the water, I know that something is going on underneath there. Either the fish have been feeding there or they are feeding there. Check those birds out, and of course still pay attention to the fact that they are dipping down and hitting the water, because you know there's bait there. If you got bait, you're going to have fish. Also pay attention to your shore birds. You have a bunch of egrets scattered along the bank, especially if you have break lines on the bank. Great place to throw those topwater baits. What to be throwing right now? Chug bug, a three-legged floating frog, and a buzzbait. Those three options are great choices for this time of year. Get out there, toss those topwater baits around where you're seeing the birds. You're gonna have the shad there. One thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
You know, we're now into September, and at some point, the heat wave of 2011 will be a distant memory, and we'll be into some cool fall weather. One of the lakes that survived the drought of this past summer better than most others is in East Texas, and it will be some good fall bass fishing. It's Cypress Springs Lake over in northeast Texas. So let's locate it for you right now, just south of Mount Vernon, Texas, down State Highway 37. It's connected to Lake Bob Sandlin and Lake Monticello. We zoom in to show you just Cypress Springs, and we'll look closer at this area near the dam. We switch now to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum chart for a great look at all the topo information. There are 4 major creeks on the north side of the lake beginning at the dam. They are Bluegill Bay, Catfish Bay, Walleye Cove, and Whippoorwill Bay. As the temperatures drop at the surface in the fall, the bass will move toward these creeks and creek channels. Fish will migrate to the points at the mouths of the creeks first, then they will gradually push toward the middle and backs of the creeks following the shad migration. This lake is easy to fish. Just move along the shoreline slowly and fish deliberately. Now, early in the fall, soft plastics are your best bet, but as that water temperature cools, top waters, buzz baits, and spinner baits will be the ticket at Cypress Springs. Enjoy your trip there and stay with us. Coming up next, we'll have the Academy Right Stuff, show you some equipment tips. We'll have your Ask the Pro answer and your Big Catch of the Week photo.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability, by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors, and Mercury Marine.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our Ask the Pro feature. Our question this week is from Robert in Holdenville, Oklahoma, who wants to know, what is the best smallmouth bass lake in Oklahoma? For the answer, let's check with Oklahoma resident and Bassmaster Elite angler, Tommy Biffle.
Best lake in Oklahoma to catch smallmouth is probably going to be Tenkiller over there about 30 miles from my home. And it's an awesome smallmouth lake, and it just keeps getting better every year. Eufaula is another real good smallmouth lake that we have here in Oklahoma. I mean, I'm talking about 6 and 7 pound, 8 pound smallmouth. So there's 2 really good lakes right now.
Thanks, Tommy. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now here's Barry with our Whataburger Big Catch of the Week.
Congratulations to this week's Big Catch of the Week photo contest winner. He is Keith Carney of Arlington, Texas, showing off his giant 11-pound largemouth bass he caught in one of the more unlikely lakes right in the middle of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex at Lake Arlington. If you'd like to send us your big fish photo and have a chance to have it seen here on our show, go to our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Top right-hand corner of the front page is where you register to become a member of the fan club. It is free. Once you do that, you can read the weekly blog, send in your Ask the Pro question, send us your Big Catch of the Week photo, and our brand new announcement that we will be having live chat sessions with all of our fishing on-air hosts right here on the show Saturday mornings right after the show ends at 8:30. It'll be a lot of fun every Saturday. Be sure to check us out on the Facebook page. Lots of content you won't see here on the show. Next up, it's time for the Academy Right Stuff, and I'd like to show you the Hel-Pet rig, which is a fantastic way to catch whites, stripers, and hybrids. It begins with a big, heavy action, 7-foot rod and reel. This is the Abu Garcia Veritas rod and the big Abu Garcia Ambassador Revo Toro reel. I've got it spooled up with 20-pound test Stren fluorocarbon line, and it starts with a big, deep diving crankbait. It gets its name, Hel-Pet, from the original Hellbender, but you can use any deep diving, big build crankbait that will get down 12 to 15 feet. Now what you do is take the hook off the front, take the front hook off, tie about a 4-foot leader on. Once you do that, then you're gonna go with about a 1/2 to a 3/4 ounce pony head jig. That one's got a little spinner on it, and you wanna tip it with about a 4-inch white chartreuse or pearl colored swimming tail plastic trailer. That's the Hel-Pet rig. It is dynamite right through the summer and fall months. You troll it in 12 to 20 feet of water. You can catch a lot of fish in our lakes across the Southwest region. Hey, Lake Whitney is alive and well, even though it's 14 feet low. It's a dynamite place to catch a lot of striped bass, and we didn't even touch on the white bass. Could have caught over 100 of those schooling on top today as well. Thanks for joining us. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.